You gotta lay down? Get the out of here, Will.
Your perfume is exquisite.
Stop.
He really is quite charming.
It's been a couple weeks since I've recorded Hannibal, but I remember the last episode we left off was I think it was Q. It's someone that had the kids and stuff like that. It was a really good episode. Shout out to my Patreons. Shout out to you guys on YouTube as well. If you're still rocking with the Hannibals, I know releases have really slowed down, but your boy was on a well-deserved, much-needed vacation. I needed some time off, man. You know, it's kind of the purpose of doing this stuff is to be able to, whenever you want to, relax and take vacations that you can. Because some of y'all know I come from military background where it's you never have your own time. So that was one of the main things I wanted to do with the channel was, you know, have some time for myself whenever I wanted to, and you guys have helped me be able to afford those opportunities. Enough of that. Why is this episode 16 plus specifically? Are we about to get a little darker? I'm ready to dive back in with these characters. The storytelling and just the way they talk about everything throughout is amazing. Just watching these character dynamics grow throughout has also been great. And I think we also left off with Lawrence Fishburne's character kind of talking about or alluded to some things that happened with his wife. Maybe not infertility things, but just like he was so focused on work that he couldn't have or didn't feel the time was right to try to have kids or anything like that. But I'm excited to get back into Hannibal. Let's check it out. Let's see what's going on. Wasn't the best intro, but I've been gone for a while, guys, so like the intros are a little rough. You'll have to forgive me on that too. A lot of forgiving I'm asking for y'all to give. See what's going on with our guy. He's being followed by the deer. It's kind of symbolic, like Hannibal's following him through the shadows. Right? That is some weird type of symbolism, right? He's on the lonely road. It's dark. And the thing that he feels like been stalking him this entire time is really just been observing him, and it's almost nurturing to him. Like it wants to be on this path with him, falling behind him, kind of guiding him, like exactly what Hannibal's doing. And I think obviously the deer represents some part of Hannibal, especially because even on like the poster of season 1, they have Hannibal there, but it's like silhouetted with the antlers of the deer or moose, whatever it is behind it. Is he really night walking though? Yeah, Will, they gotta pull you over, brother. You look musty. You're looking real musty.
You lost? What's your name? Do you know where you are, Mr. Graham? So that's good. You're close to home. Is that yours?
Don't be something crazy.
Hi, Winston.
One of his dogs.
Why don't we take you home? Prescription or otherwise?
No,
You been drinking?
no, not excessively. I had 2 fingers of whiskey before I went to bed.
Do you have a history of sleepwalking, Mr. Graham?
Not even sure if I'm awake now.
That's a powerful line.
Although I may be, is it safe to assume you're not sleepwalking now?
Sorry it's so early.
Never apologize for coming to me. Office hours are for patients. My kitchen is always open to friends.
I bet.
Onset of sleepwalking in adulthood is less common than in children. I'd argue good old-fashioned post-traumatic stress. Manipulated would be the word I'd choose.
I can handle it.
Somewhere between denying horrible events and calling them out lies the truth of psychological trauma.
Hannibal makes some sense, dog.
Experience may have overwhelmed ordinary functions that give you a sense of control.
If my body is walking around without my permission, you'd say that's a loss of control.
He makes me laugh, and I don't want to laugh at him. His little subtle sips and the way he looks back at doors.
You entered into a devil's bargain with Jack Crawford. When it comes to how far he's willing to push you to get what he wants, he's certainly no saint.
That's been one of my arguments since the beginning of episode 1. The stuff that Jack does is it's not technically bad, but when you know that you have people that are relying on you as the team lead, they're, for lack of a better term for what the actual term is, the captain, the head honcho, and you're willing to sacrifice this certain pieces of people's minds and things like that, it's not great. And Hannibal's playing off that so well and showing it to Will in this moment to kind of set some seeds of maybe some not seeds of like See, this is what happens when you take breaks. You forget the words. So, y'all are feeling the word I'm trying to say. Y'all are feeling the word that I'm trying to say. Not mistreatment, but like, basically he's trying to put a wedge between them a little bit and say that maybe Jack doesn't have your best interest in mind all the time. But I can't think of the word I want to say. Oh, then what you did, dude? You got issues with fire. You gonna beat them over the head with ice to make the flames go away?
Room is registered to a John Smith. Big surprise there.
An appalling failure of imagination.
They paid cash. There are no security cameras on the premises. Another big surprise. I'm gonna need you to prepare yourself on this one.
I'm prepared.
Yeah, prepare yourself some more. It's soup in there.
Soup isn't good for the soul.
Not this kind.
It's on my pillow. I didn't sleep.
That's just the thing to wake you up.
Jack, no. That's not the thing to say. If you're gonna show some concern, really show it with actions too, not just words, brother. Holy is that? He had to make the flames go away.
Okay, I'm awake.
Hooks were bored into the ceiling
He filleted their backs there.
to hold up the bodies and the wings.
Vikings do this?
Vikings used to execute Christians by breaking their ribs, bending them back, and draping the lungs over them to resemble wings. They used to call it a blood eagle.
And pagans mocking the God-fearing.
Hair on the pillow and the sheets are still damp. He's a sweater.
Couldn't stomach what he did. Blob sweat and nervous indigestion.
Thinks he's elevating them somehow.
Didn't he put them in a praying position too?
I need a plastic sheet for the bed.
You gotta lay down? Get the out of here, Will. Is he finna put their bodies back together? Oh.
This is not who you are. This is my gift to you.
Yeah, let's turn that down a little bit.
I allow you to become an angel.
Some of that should be looking good though. I'll tell you what, the boy you know how to plate some shit though. Oh, he brought his wife. He said he would bring his wife one day.
Masterpiece foie gras au torchon with a late harvest of Vidal sauce.
Does nobody ask him why are you so chefish?
Your husband introduced you as Bella. Are you an Isabel or an Hannibal?
I'm a Phyllis.
So, I named Bella for your beauty.
We were both stationed in Italy. I was Army. She was NATO staff. All of the Italian men kept calling her Bella, Bella, Bella. Well, I wanted her to be my Bella.
Doesn't that just speak to his like his, I forget the word they use specifically in like episode 2, but his pushiness, like how he just always like, bro, come on, Jack. Good on the Writer's always showing like a lot of these characters still stay true to who they are, even in like little moments that seem like it shouldn't mean much. Jack is still Jack.
Would I be a horrible guest if I skipped this court?
Too rich.
Too cruel.
Phyllis.
Jack.
First and worst sign of sociopathic behavior, cruelty to animals. I have no taste for animal cruelty, which is why I employ an ethical butcher.
An ethical book. Be kind to animals and then eat them.
I'm afraid I insist on it. No need for unnecessary suffering. It's a gift humanity has given itself.
A gift that keeps on giving.
Your perfume is exquisite.
What? Stop.
Similar to the aroma on the air just after lightning strikes.
He really is quite charming, isn't he?
I first noticed my keen sense of smell when I was a young man.
Wow, that must have been some parlor trick.
Roasted pork shank. And I assure you, Bella, it was an especially supercilious pick.
I almost felt like that was a callback to them finding those people that had cancer, and he detected it. Holy shit.
This wings where we had shoulders, smooth as raven's claws.
Robert Frost.
Jim Morrison.
Even a drunk with the flair for the dramatic can convince himself he's God.
This is a very specific upsetting.
Increased serotonin in the wounds is much higher than the free histamine, so about 15 minutes after she was skinned. The soda bottle shows vecuronium, scotch and soda, and a paralytic agent.
So they couldn't move, but they felt it
They weren't praying to him.
with
They
him.
were praying for him.
A guy has a brain tumor.
Afraid of dying in his sleep, making angels to watch over him.
What?
Mrs. Crawford,
Well, she's seeing him as a patient now, too.
how often do you see him?
Twice a week at first.
Who's him?
Satisfied then?
Enough to keep seeing him.
Your intention is not to tell Jack.
Jack sees the world at its worst.
Who is you seeing?
Him seeing me at mine.
He has room for one more worry.
I've had dinner at your home. You have a professional relationship with my husband. There's no conflict of interest, me being here?
It's unorthodox, but not unheard of. Given the nature of your problems, seeing someone who knows Jack removes some of the guesswork.
Okay. He can sell salt to a slug.
Nothing undignified about this. Why do you resent your husband?
Yeah, let's get some answers to that whole child thing.
Jack has too much to worry about me.
Not his.
And maybe you should see us both for couples counseling.
I would recommend another psychiatrist for couples. I wouldn't want you to have the home couch advantage.
It's hard enough.
Like I was saying about people being true to who they are in a relationship like that. I don't like to talk about it in that type of way because I don't want to be like I'm showing off credentials or something to y'all. But in a relationship like that where one person seems maybe quote unquote a little overbearing and something like that, it can make that other partner feel like they need to put a lot of their stuff off to the side. So it's feels really real that the show would talk about that. So I don't know who they have writing this or who they spoke to about certain things, but I mean they're right, they're hitting the nail right on the head with a lot of the things that they bring up about relationship dynamics and things like that.
Even cause vivid hallucinations. However, what appears to be driving your angel maker to create heaven on earth, you said he was afraid.
He feels abandoned.
Ever feel abandoned, Will?
Abandonment requires expectation.
What were your expectations of Jack Crawford and the FBI? You say he hasn't abandoned you, but at the same time you find yourself wandering around Wolf Trap in the middle of the night.
Wow.
What's the connection?
This should be interesting.
Yeah, because I'm like, what's the connection you're making?
He would protect your headspace. Yet he leaves you to your mental devices.
Trying to alienate me from Jack Crawford?
Thank you, Will. Someone read him back. Like, what are you on to? The only person who's read him back was the girl before, but that was kind of not obvious. But if you're gonna help me with a murder, like, what are you the person who called? So yes, I like that. Somebody, ask him some shit back.
Scare him out into the daylight?
Might even get him to hurt himself, if he hasn't already.
If he were self-destructive, he wouldn't be so careful.
Unless he's careful about being self-destructive. Making angels to pray over him when he sleeps.
He needs people.
Do you wait until you think I'm asleep before you come to bed?
It's not intentional. I'm working late.
Can we have a conversation, or you want to pretend that everything's all right?
Everything is all right. I'm a bit overwhelmed at the moment.
I'm very good at sorting things out. And at the very least, I can underwhelm you while you're being overwhelmed.
You've never been able to underwhelm me.
So as your husband, what I can do for you is leave you alone and not ask you any questions. I won't insult you by asking you if there's someone else. You'll sort out whatever it is you have to sort out. We'll get back to being us.
I love you too.
Even calling her Bella instead of her actual name to me is a little telling. It's Hannibal. Oh, Lawrence.
It isn't biblical. His angels have wings.
He's drawing from secular sources?
His mind has turned against him, and there's no one there to help.
Somebody got to work you out of me real cheap.
Why say that? Why say that?
So they're the angel makers?
He castrated himself?
So he isn't just making angels, he's getting ready to become one.
So he was afraid of dying. Now he's what, getting used to the idea?
He's accepting it, or he's bargaining.
Well, he's not just killing them when he's sleepy. I mean, how's he choosing them?
I don't know. Ask him.
I'm asking you.
Well, you're the head of the behavioral science unit, Jack. Why don't you come up with your own answers if you don't like mine?
Uh-oh. Low tension.
I did not hear that. Did I?
Sorry.
But I mean, you have been just pushing Will. Like, I get it, you're an overseer to an extent, but help us piece some shit together.
I've never heard anybody talk to Jack the way you talk to Jack.
I was out of line.
You were out of your mind. Are you okay?
No.
I know it's a stupid question, considering that none of us could possibly be okay doing what we do, but are you okay?
At least somebody's concerned about him.
Different.
You're a little different. But you've always been a little different. Brilliant strategy. That way no one ever knows if something's up with you.
How would I know if something was up with you?
You wouldn't, but I would tell you if you asked me. Return the favor?
That's a pretty earned moment between those two characters too, because she's always kind of talked to him a little bit and seen what's going on with him and stuff like that. So I like that.
Like, she likes to watch. We got a DNA match. They falsified the motel registry and were driving a stolen car. So it took a second to identify them.
I wonder how long it took Angel Maker to identify them.
Instantaneously.
Randomly.
Could Angel Maker be a vigilante?
Yeah, but it's just shows in his head.
In his mind, he was doing God's work.
That spells vigilante.
Well, playing a god has other advantages. One of them
You don't
is
have to hold
always
her.
being alone.
Oh. I like that, but don't kind of like that because he's been right so far.
He's a behavioral specialist. You must know you're keeping something from him.
Oh, he knows. By reassuring me that he didn't have to ask.
I doubt he believes you're unfaithful.
Women who love their husbands still find reasons to cheat on them.
Not you. You seem more betrayed by Jack than by your own body.
And there's no point in being mad at cancer for being cancer.
Sure there is.
Just cancer. She's bringing about the cruel line that Hannibal used earlier.
Finds its way into my lung, where it's just trying to do its job, and
What it grows and where it's growing it will likely kill you.
no amount of blueberries or antioxidants can change that now.
You hold Jack accountable for his inability to cure cancer.
To notice.
Should I have said his inability to save you? Would that be more accurate?
I am slowly, really very dull story, though, isn't it? The ending is always the same, and that same is that it ends.
The man who strolled along the quays of Livorno, Italy, and called you Bella.
Don't have some crazy vision, please. Oh, you sleep like me. Yep. Oh, oh, he just walked out there again.
It's difficult to lie still and fear going to sleep when it's there to think about. You listen to your breathing in the dark and the tiny clicks of your blinking eyes. Your dreams were the one place you could be physically safe. Relinquishing control, not anymore.
Yeah, I thought about zipping myself up into a sleeping bag before I go to sleep, but
Have you determined how this angel maker is choosing his victims?
you can tell if you're naughty or nice, or
It doesn't seem like it's on purpose.
An insight into the souls of man.
God didn't give him insight, God gave him a tumor. It's just a man whose brain is playing tricks on him.
He hopes to feel his way cautiously inside it and find it's endless all around him.
He's gonna be disappointed.
You accept the impossibility of such a feeling, whereas the angel maker is still chasing it. Angel maker will be destroyed by what's happening inside his head. You don't have to be.
Did you just smell me?
Difficult to avoid. I really must introduce you to a finer aftershave that smells like something with a ship on the bottle.
Allspice?
Have your headaches been any worse lately? More frequent?
Yes, actually.
Yep, in frame with the moose. I even think the deer even smelled him and tried to like comfort him before. So I'm wondering if their relationship is going to become more of a not just intrigued with Will, but is he actually attracted to Will in a way? Like physically, does he want some type of form of romance with Will as well too?
Match came from the National Cancer Database. Married, 2 kids. They haven't seen him in 4 months. He was diagnosed 5 months ago.
They found him.
I left him. And no, I haven't.
Why did you leave?
Because of his cancer.
Which is, they always find a way. They always find a way to wrap up the theme of the episode into what's currently going on with some of the characters as well too. So like their relationship not completely reflects, but there's similarities in what they're going through to what Jack and his wife are going through as well too. Her cancer, this man has cancer. She left. Maybe, you know, I don't think Jack's leaving, but they're having their little moment. His wife's thinking about, she's contemplating not their relationship so much, but her, I want to say significance almost, like if whatever she's going through really matters overall to her partner in a way, and if if he has the time to be able to invest in what's going on with her, and if she's even willing to divulge information to him about it because she doesn't even want to disturb what he already has going on. So I like that.
Be with him. I wanted to be there for him. But what he wanted was to be alone. He just kept pulling away and pulling away.
Can't help but think about herself.
And then it wasn't clear. And then it didn't matter why he was acting the way he was. Weird.
Epiphany time.
Was he ever violent, Mrs. Budish?
He was angry, but he never hit. He lost himself, and they lost a father. As the cancer got worse, it would be less confusing for them. Instead of someone who was so terrified.
Falter after he was told about the...
Elliot wasn't ever religious. Is he doing something religious?
He may believe he is.
We'd like to find him before he hurts himself or anyone else.
He had a near-death experience. He suffocated in a fire when he was a little boy. A farm where he grew up.
Watch them find a whole slew of bodies here. Yeah, because he already looking up. Oh, it's himself.
It's Budish.
It wasn't God, it wasn't man, it was his choice.
His choice?
As much as he can make it. I don't know how much longer I can be all that useful to you, Jack.
Really? You caught 3. The last 3 we had, you caught. You caught 3 of them.
I didn't catch this one. Elliot surrendered.
You know,
It's getting harder and harder to make myself look. And you know what looking at this does.
I know what happens if you don't look, and so do you.
I can make myself look, but the thinking is shutting down.
About this stuff on TittleCrime.com?
No, I don't. But that may be what I have to do. This is bad for me.
He's expressing it. He's expressing it to you, Jack. Leave him alone with this.
I'm not going to tell you what you ought to do. Killing going on that you could have prevented. It will sour your classroom forever.
Maybe.
You want to quit?
What am I looking at? Was he alive? Yeah. Did he really fall, or are you stripping?
What do you see? Inside. I can bring it out of you. I can give you of your becoming.
Oh, hell. It's that Will's gift playing in on himself. Oh.
My wife and I need to talk. May we use your waiting room?
You can have the office, please.
Just popping in on official business?
I called your office. They said you were at an appointment. I figured you'd be here.
12 weeks ago.
12 weeks ago.
Lung cancer.
You don't smoke? Is it treatable?
Stage 4. And we know there's no stage 5, don't we?
When were you going to tell me?
Far enough into the future that I'm really not prepared to have this conversation right now.
Neither am I, but we're having it. We're having it right now. Were you just going to wait until you were in the middle of chemotherapy?
I don't think I want to do chemotherapy.
Do I have any say in this?
No. No, you don't.
I don't want you to answer that. Just think about your answer.
Might say something you don't want to hear, huh?
I want you to know that I don't want you to be alone. Not now and not ever.
We'll beat this together.
No, it's your fight, baby, but I'm in your corner.
I appreciate that, Jack. But I'm not comforted by it. But I can't give you what you need.
Don't worry about what I need. Why wouldn't you tell me?
I thought if I kept it to myself, our lives wouldn't change. I didn't count on changing as much as I did.
What do you want, Will?
No, you don't get to do that. I know you're going through some shit, but you don't get to see Will and ask him what does he want after all the shit he's done to help you with.
I'm gonna sit here until you're ready to talk.
Aw.
You don't have to say a word until you're ready, but I'm not going anywhere until you do.
Respect. And he's there for you. What he's been needing from you, Jack. Come on, brother. Great episode, and like they always do, they tie in a lot of things that are going on with the actual investigation or crime that we're having with the characters that we've been following throughout the story. I like the setting. I like the character that was the vigilante this episode. It was a little loose, like not his motivations, but how he was just able to find all these certain people and like their motivation, not their motivation, but the reasons why it made sense that he was killing them. I think the only thing that really makes that moment hit for me is the final moment with Will being able to impersonate him again, or like live through that person, and seeing his own self with the flame face, and knowing that there's something that's dark within inside himself too. And I forget the exact line that he said, but it speaks to kind of Will's journey throughout this entire season that we've seen so far. So I really did like that. I really did. Another great episode. I liked Jack's wife's character. I forget her name at the moment. Sorry about that. I liked the metaphors and things that they were doing with the deer and how that ties into Hannibal, and also the symbolism of the deer sniffing Will and then coming back to that being Hannibal again, doing that type of stuff. The sniffing was a big thing throughout this one. I feel like the title might mean something about sniff. Hold on. I feel like the title might mean something about, what's co-killers mean? Has multiple definitions, including a type of dish, a cooking utensil, and a Native American tribe. Dish, a dish of seafood or chicken baked in sauce and served in the scallop, shellfish, or sharp dish. Oh, tightrope. Okay. So no, it doesn't have anything to do with smelling or anything like that. Like I said, great episode. Shout out to my Patrons. I appreciate you guys for sticking around, even though I've been gone for so long. I know the intro was a little rough. Maybe I didn't talk so much this episode. You know, the training wheels are kind of back on, but I'm gonna get back in the swing of things. We do have interview with the vampire interview with the episode interview with the vampire episode 7 coming up, which I'm super excited to get to. I'm gonna be dropping some Arcane for you guys as well, and I want to finish season 1 of Peaky Blinders because I really love Peaky Blinders as a show. It's hard whenever you put something that you really like out on the YouTube, and YouTube's like, here's 25 views for all your work, and it makes you feel kind of but you know, I don't even want to be in that head space anymore. I just want to do things that I like, things that I want to put out there, things that I want to talk about and discuss, and hopefully the people that want to talk about those things or want to discuss them find me. And if they don't, then hey, it is what it is. But at least, you know, put them on YouTube, put them on Patreon. Those things will exist there for people and fans of those shows when they do hopefully find me, and hopefully find groups of people that appreciate what I'm doing. I know Frank feels the exact same way too. That's it for this episode.
Never just a training.
It was Hannibal. This is shaping up to be my favorite episode. Damn, okay, we start already. So let me go ahead and turn that down a little bit. Oh, hell. No. What is going on, gang? It is your boy Taco, back with another Hannibal reaction. Yes, we're finally watching Hannibal on AMC Plus. Y'all been trying to tell me, like, bro, you don't have to watch it with ads. You don't have to be on Amazon Prime to watch it. So yeah, we're making the switch over to AMC Plus so we can watch it ad free and enjoy it without breaking up the pacing or things that are going on with the show. Last episode was great. You know, we got a lot of backstory with I think the dude's name was Jack, with Lawrence Fishburne's character and his wife, and some of the things that were going on with them and how it kind of tied into the theme of the episode as well too. I'm really looking forward to this one. I feel like as the season goes on, it gets a little deeper. We're gonna start getting the overall theme a little more too, as far as, well, not theme, but the arc of the season of Hannibal sinking his teeth, pun intended, into Will and the other girl, and making their roles kind of morph and switch to fit what he wants them to fit, as he makes almost like his little family. Anyways, this episode is called Entree. I feel like I don't need to look up the definition of entree for this one, so let's see what's going on with this episode of Hannibal. Shout out to my patrons. I appreciate each and every one of you all. Let's get into this. Damn, okay, we start already. So let me go ahead and turn that down a little bit.
On your feet, Dr. Gideon, or we will restrain you. All right, place your fingers behind your head.
He might try something on y'all.
Get a gurney.
Oh, he's breathing. I'll start backing up. His hands moving and shit. Hey, he's finna hurt you, girl. Oh, hell. Okay, I thought it was gonna be a brutal scene.
Well, thanks to Freddie Lowndes, there's an unconfirmed story floating out there that the Chesapeake Ripper's already in custody.
Unconfirmed? Am I confirming?
Checking for Freddie Lamb.
Who's fact checking for me?
They won't let me out.
Aw.
Yeah, not today.
Yo. Not on. I don't. There's not a lot of throwaway lines. I just feel like we don't get that little funny, cokey shit with them two unless there's maybe some foreshadowing behind that as well. But like, I'm not gonna leave you here. Yeah, not today. I feel bad when I kind of come to these places. There is potential, you know, that Jack catches Will doing something eventually because, as we know, Will's going on this roller coaster of not just emotions, but just like a transition of his mind of what he's thinking with the influence of Hannibal and his own personal gift. And Jack being who he is and always having to protect and do stuff in ways. There is potential Will could end up in this place.
To Graham, or should I call you Dr. Graham?
No, I'm not a doctor.
Dr. Chilton, we're going to need to see the crime scene while it's still relatively undisturbed.
I assure you, for something so disturbing, it is quite undisturbed. 2 years since he was brought here, Gideon behaved perfectly and gave every appearance of cooperating with attempts at therapy. Security around him was slightly relaxed. I cannot help feeling responsible myself for what happened.
With as much privacy as you can provide.
Oh, yes, that thing you do. You're quite the topic of conversation.
You're part of it.
Psychiatric circles, Mr. Graham.
He's not here to be analyzed.
Yeah. What is
short of material on your sort of...
I'm also happy Jack is like, hey, look, that's not what we're here for, too. And this dude's way out of pocket for even doing that.
Not this trip. Maybe a special visit.
Thank you, Dr. Chilton. I'd like to see the crime scene. Where is he now?
In his cell. The removal of organs.
The Ripper is still out there.
Jack, what I'm about to show you suggests otherwise.
Shit, so we finna come up on another crazy scene. What if he's the Ripper? Whoosh!
Willing to capture the Chesapeake Ripper?
Oh my gosh. That's almost satanic. Gosh damn. Took the eyes and shit out. Oof. It's like as they get you sunk into the show, they start really showing you some up shit. Will done pass the out. Or he needs to go through the steps of what the guy did. Yeah. Actually, that's the same girl, right? So he's already in his dream shit that he does. See, like, how much he is involved in this. Like, he gets to this point of it. All the emotions, the rage, the physical moments of it. Even shushing her as he takes her fucking eyes. Scream, girl. Shit. She already dead. I'm over here talking about Scream. Will's poor mind too. He needs to stop doing this shit.
As far as we know, it's been over 2 years since the Chesapeake Ripper kill.
That's correct. Last, Miriam, Regina, come in.
Far-fetched, but I just have to say this because it's on my mind. What if the person who's been talking to him while he was in prison, that other psychiatrist, talked to him in a way that made him feel like he was that guy or wanted to be like him, so then he did that. Just because Hannibal always throws curveballs, so who knows? But maybe this is just flat out he is that guy.
You're gonna have to stop correcting me if we're gonna get along, Les. You wrote me a letter when you qualified for the...
I know, you never replied.
Never do. Odds are against any trainee completing the program. I'm glad to see you're still here. I'm assuming that you're familiar with the Chesapeake Ripper. Not right now. Killed his last 2 victims in 6 days. There'll be at least one more body and then nothing for months.
They say he's a true sociopath. He has some of the characteristics of what they call a sociopath. He won't have any of the other marks. He won't be a drifter. I'm grateful for the opportunity, Agent Crawford. Why me?
You have a forensics fellowship, doctorate in criminology. And what I don't have are enough warm bodies.
Something happened to him.
I'm gonna need your full attention on this.
Sometimes I feel like his secretary rather than his keeper. Mostly researchers or PhD candidates requesting interviews. A scattered dozen lonely hearts or intelligence.
Murdering his wife was impulsive. The Chesapeake Ripper is...
Dude, they said it wouldn't be somebody that you could see. He wouldn't have any other traits. And then we cut right back to this guy. Look, it was a hunch, but I'm starting to really feel like he's our Ripper and not this guy that they're trying to put it on. It was a bold, dumb guess, but I love to have my dumb guesses.
Will you be conducting a joint interview?
Separate.
Cause why? And he's so interested in Will.
To get on with it. You have talked to Gideon before, for some length of time.
Well, I saw him mainly in court.
Very familiar with you. He's given you a lot of thought.
You had some sessions with him?
I've read your notes, of course.
Hi, Dr. Bloom. How wonderful to see you again.
He remembers her.
Met a lot of psychiatrists in the last 2 years. It's hard to forget one, so.
I'm Dr. Gideon. I won't waste it.
Dr. Bloom. No mystery as to who done it. I did it.
Or not.
Never like being called the Chesapeake Ripper.
Is that why you didn't take credit for the Ripper murders before now?
I have had my personality inventoried by the Minnesota Multiphasic.
Would you prefer a Rorschach test?
The effect I was hoping to have was her death. I do not have to convince you.
But she's not.
I am Chesapeake Ripper.
Certainly what somebody needs.
Come on now. There he is, our guy.
Jack, come in.
They love this shot of him with doors shutting it.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's why I was in the neighborhood. But she tells me that she's fine, and she tells me when she's not. I can't talk to her. She's working.
I'm prohibited from talking about it, doctor-patient confidentiality.
Jack staying true to his character. This motherfucker is trying to find out. I get it, it's your wife and shit. But I mean, HIPAA.
What do you consider this?
Desperate coping.
You don't think I have a right to know what's happening with my wife?
You have every right to know what's happening.
Well, I'm not just going to stand outside my marriage and watch this happen.
I'll offer one insight. She doesn't think she married the wrong guy.
Aww.
I can't stop thinking about when my wife is going to die. I look at her side of the bed and I think, is she going to die there?
Shit.
Dreading the loss of your wife.
And I'm thinking about other losses, too.
What other losses?
All the blood he has on his hands.
Who else couldn't you save?
Hannibal's good, dude.
It's just you and me for the time being.
Jack being himself, like, it's amazing how much character is like unspoken that is still true to who the character is. Jack in here with this new girl by herself, knowing he probably shouldn't have her in there by herself, trying to get information for her to like work and show him stuff. And he does that stuff with Will. Even he's stepping out of bounds, going and asking Hannah about different stuff. Even saying, yo, my wife married the wrong guy if she thinks that. So I really love that for whatever flaws he has, they are his flaws, and it's true to this character, and it makes him feel palpable. Like, it feels real. It feels like he is a person that is just, like, I am who I am. Like, I'm going to step out of bounds. I'm going to do dumb shit. Even if maybe somebody got hurt or something, like, this is who I am.
While he was alive, struck the throat.
He was unconscious when the Ripper did the ripping.
No, he'd want him awake. Organs were removed.
So he could keep living?
He's a medical doctor, isn't he? That why you call him the Ripper? I don't know that he's white. Exotic somehow.
How the f?
Which is why you're gonna catch him.
I'm gonna catch him.
We call you the guru.
I'll take that as a compliment.
You'll probably spot him before anybody else.
Now I want you to take a look at this.
This is shaping up to be my favorite episode.
Ripper victims. He doesn't.
She has the exact same wound pattern as the last known.
We never found a body for his last known victim.
I see the Ripper, but I don't
feel it.
The Ripper. This is plagiarism. Maybe he is the Ripper, I don't know. But if he's a plagiarist, the real Chesapeake...
No, they never made it public, but somebody who worked on the case, which was that psychiatrist before, which is the crumb they gave us about, come on, son. Stop playing. Knock it off. I would love it for Hannibal to be on the case. I bet he'd call it so quick. Like, it's this person. It's about his wife. I hope it's not about his wife.
Hello.
Jack.
Who is this?
Jack, it's Miriam. I don't know where I am. I can't say anything.
Miriam?
I was so wrong. I was so wrong.
Miriam?
That's in the past, right?
And my again and again and again. I can't find any electronic trace of.
Oh, this was.
2:46 a.m.
I am telling you that the phone rang.
Whoever made that call could have made it from that little box outside your house or a junction in your neighborhood.
Unless he's tripping.
You gonna continue to question me on this, Z?
Bugging out.
So maybe I should ask you to leave the room while it's still safe for you to be here. The Chesapeake Ripper recorded Miriam last 2 years ago as he was killing her. He played that recording for me.
Gideon, because we know...
It's that psychiatrist.
Are you certain it was a recording?
The Chesapeake Ripper is making it very clear that someone is plagiarizing his work.
It was, you're in a deep sleep, you're roused, you're disoriented.
Stop.
You don't even know you're still asleep.
Get out.
I know when I'm awake.
I'm with Jack right now. I'm with Jack. I don't care if he was dreaming. There's a damn deer in here with him. That shit scaring me. I gotta turn the volume down. That's just creepy to me. It's weirdly eerie.
Well, you look like you were dreaming.
Thinking about something else.
Well, here's something for you to think about.
Toward what?
We might be able to influence him to become visible.
If we can enrage him.
Oh.
What purpose, Jack? I don't see what you're asking.
Do you think there's a way to push the Chesapeake Ripper and focus his attention?
But he's already
Plagiarize his work?
Kill again, just to prove he isn't in a hospital for the criminally insane.
I have to push, Will.
And here we go, the conundrum of Jack. Dog, that's a wild thing to want to do. Dog,
Criminally insane.
I have to push, Will.
Are you thinking about getting into bed with Freddie?
Morning, Agent Crawford. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, hell. No. This is what we doing? I kind of want to look up the word entree now just because to see exactly how it plays into what's been going on. The main course of a meal, right? The right to enter or join a particular sphere of group. Loosely, okay.
I believe you know Will Graham.
Mr. Graham, so good to see you.
Yeah, Will. Hey, shaking your fucking hand.
You have all the qualities of a good reporter. So how is it that you wind up where you've ended up?
Criminal justice journalism being a euphemism for tabloid reporting.
And an unconfirmed story about the Chesapeake Ripper?
An exclusive story would be a coup.
Yes, it would. With a picture credit.
What's against you and
A picture credit.
us is that your brand of journalism is obnoxious and therefore disliked.
He's gonna come after her, and they're gonna protect her.
You with Dr. Gideon, I was denied. Not to snap bubblegum and crack wise, but what's my angle? Is he the Chesapeake Ripper, or do you just want me to tell everybody that he is? He could be.
Do you know what profession psychopaths disproportionately gravitate to?
Journalists know what number 7 is, Mr. Graham.
Law enforcement.
Oh.
A bunch of psychopaths helping each other out.
I mean, they're using you as super fish bait. Hey, let's do what we gotta do.
Dr. Gideon, may I call you Dr. Gideon? Or do you prefer the Chesapeake Ripper? His name is Dr. Abel Gideon, and strong evidence has surfaced that he's far more than a mild-mannered surgeon who cruelly murdered his wife. Gideon is the most sought-after serial killer at large and has baffled their most gifted profilers. None other than the Chesapeake Ripper.
It's not Hannibal. No, wait, no. What was I was up that whole time?
Or something instructional diagrams.
You wouldn't be recreating them from your memory, Doctor.
Oh, have to agree to disagree.
Then why the surgical trophies? You didn't take any trophies when you murdered your wife and her family on Thanksgiving.
You didn't come here to talk about my wife or the little nursie.
What am I here to talk about?
Miriam. Somebody.
Telling me you killed Miriam Lass.
Didn't mean to kill her. Don't get mad.
I'm curious, why are you being so forthcoming all of a sudden?
Well, what have I got to lose? You know where I am, and you know how I got it.
No, he's feeding you info.
Polite thing to do is to ask him to call back.
I'm gonna stop guessing.
Bella, something wrong?
Jack, it's Miriam. I don't know where I am. So wrong. I was so wrong.
In my bedroom, when my wife sleeps.
I've dusted the phone, got a lot of usable prints. Presumably the Chesapeake Ripper.
I can't imagine the Chesapeake Ripper would start leaving prints at his crime scenes now.
There he is. Or there she is. Was Miriam Lass a blonde?
Yes.
I pulled her fingerprints from the VICAP database, Jack, and I got a match.
Oh, hell.
She wasn't here. If she wanted to know, she was smart enough to find out.
She could have told the Chesapeake Ripper before he killed her. Whoever made that call thinks you were close to Miriam Lass and feel responsible for her death.
Don't you have classes today?
Okay, this one's getting crazy.
Sir, I thought this might be more important than exclusionary rules of search and seizure. I left a report here for you last night. I don't know if you got it.
I got it. Frustrated, Lass? So you should start forming calluses. Some thick ones. Because frustration's gonna wear you thin. My assessment is that instead of being here, you should be in a lecture hall boning up on good faith warrant exceptions.
If the Chesapeake Ripper is a surgeon, we should check medical records.
In private medical records without a warrant.
Then I hope you forgive me for skipping class today.
You behaved yourself.
No opportunity to be naughty.
I can help you find out, but I need your trust to do that.
Oh, I trust you, Dr.
This one better not have a part 2.
To the Chesapeake Ripper. Dr. Gideon is going to provide us with a singular opportunity to analyze a pure sociopath.
I still feel like it's you, brother.
Dinner is inspired by Auguste Escoffier. We are having longue d'agneau papillote.
I don't think I've ever had tongue before.
It was a particularly chatty lamb.
Yo, bro, he's taking shots at him. It was a particularly chatty lamb. You know what? Look. Let me stop. I could be off the rails for real.
And as this evening has already proven, it's nice to have an old friend for dinner.
I see 3 possibilities. Gideon is the Chesapeake Ripper, or he just thinks he is.
He knows he is. So do I.
Did you discuss the Chesapeake Ripper's crimes with Dr. Gideon?
Fearing he might be exposed, may have spurred him into action.
Oh, or maybe he's just a mouthpiece and you're a chatty and it really was Hannibal, but you just knew things about it. I said I'm gonna stop theorizing, but I can't. I'm sorry, guys. I wish I could shut the fuck up, but I can't. I can't do it.
Possible you inadvertently planted the suggestion in Gideon's mind that he was the Ripper. No, I said inadvertently.
But reasonable in certain circumstances. It may have been useful trying to remind Gideon he's the Chesapeake Ripper.
Dr. Bloom, if he has been unethically manipulated somehow, I love your insight.
I love notes and grapes. Same color inside as outside. Were I in your position, I would have attempted psychic driving. Perhaps you already have. I'm much more forgiving of the unorthodox than Dr. Bloom. Shall we?
Was made to Jack's cell from a disposable phone traced here. Medical records. If the Ripper was a surgeon, she thought he might have treated one of his victims.
And
retraced her steps.
The ones they could find. You make those jumps.
The evidence has to be there.
That's Hannibal.
Like any of the Ripper victims has been thoroughly vetted or currently under observation.
Dr. Gideon wasn't in my bedroom. Last call. Left something. Phone number.
I want to make more guesses, but it probably gets annoying after a bit, so I'm trying to shut up, dude. I am really trying. It's her body? You see.
The Ripper wanted to cloud my vision with hope.
Can sometimes be brave to allow yourself hope.
Not the false kind.
Don't give up hope for your wife. She's lost hope, which means you can't.
I don't have any control over that.
Take control. I'm sorry about your wife, Jack. I believe the world is a better place with her in it.
Whatever the Ripper was doing, it worked.
Hannibal comes off nice sometimes.
My name is Miriam Lass. I'm with the FBI. I would show you my credentials, but I'm actually just a trainee.
Never just a trainee. An agent in training. Please.
It was Hannibal.
I was hoping to talk to you about a former patient. Not necessarily one of yours, but someone you may have come into contact with when you were practicing physician.
I haven't practiced medicine for some time.
His name was Jeremy Olmsted.
Perhaps not so good a memory after all. I don't recall a patient with that name, but it sounds familiar.
We think he may be a victim of the Chesapeake Ripper.
That's why he sounds familiar. It was all over the news.
Pathology checked with the local hospital. He had fallen out of a tree blind 5 years ago while bow hunting. Stuck an arrow through his leg. The doctor of record was a resident surgeon, but you were on duty in the ER that night.
I was. You'll have to forgive me. I saw so many people in the ER, but not so many hunters.
I thought you may remember if anything was fishy with the arrow wound.
If it's the gentleman I'm thinking of, I vaguely remember a fellow hunter bringing him in, but I recall very little else. I did keep detailed journals during those days. Maybe you'll find something helpful.
That would be great, if you don't mind.
Not at all. If you wait here, I'll be right back.
Did nobody know that she went to his office? Boom. Oh, he took his shoes off. That means he's calling Jack and doing all this stuff. No, just stop. Just stop the show. I think that might have been one of my more favorite episodes. I'm sorry I couldn't shut up about guessing who was this and that, and they just find ways to throw you off of trails, and you think you're figuring something out, and you're really not. And they've went so many episodes with Hannibal not being the person that once he is actually the person again, it catches you so off guard. Like, I was not ready for that. I wasn't. A lot of good moments from Jack. I love how much he sticks to his actual character, what drives him and things like that. Hannibal is so sick and twisted in his ways of getting empathy out of people and almost seeming like he cares and is compassionate, but he's a fucking monster. He's a fucking monster, dude. And that other psychiatrist was talking to him, and he persuaded him into thinking that, and that's why Hannibal was so pissed at the dinner table and giving him subtle hints to like what he did, serving them tongue, like and talking about, you know, someone's had a big mouth and all that shit. Like Hannibal's gonna fuck around and kill him too, and he's about to be on that girl's ass for writing that article. And you know, they showed us him being upset about it, but I'm thinking it's so hard to figure out what's a misdirect and what's like who the writer of the show really. Like, if you think you're finna come in here and figure some shit out, you're not. You're not. At least I ain't. I'm not finna figure out shit. So I'm gonna just try to change my view and experience and not try to just be. I know they are running circles around me in this show. I love this episode. It might have been my favorite so far. It was great. I think I'm actually gonna watch another episode like here in another couple minutes because this was just really, really good. Appreciate you guys. Love you all. Shout out to my Patreons, YouTube. Y'all get these when y'all get them. Sorry. We're done for right now.